One. You are live.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a Saturday. It is time for Hall of DUT Mobile, and it's a campus battle of CUT versus DUT. But unfortunately, CUT or UCT, isn't here today. So it's only the guys from Durban, their first and second team going against each other. But before we get to the game, on my right-hand side, I've got the mobile giant himself. Tiano, how are you doing?
Yes, Dallas, how's it going, bro? Absolute pleasure once again to obviously be co-casting and shoutcasting with you. And yeah, bro, I'm really excited to see the players obviously in these university teams. It's a pity UCT weren't able to make the mix. I myself being an Ike Tiger back in the day, so I would have possibly been a little bit biased in my support. But yeah, nonetheless, bro, yeah, it's good to be back, like I mentioned, and I'm quite keen to see these new players, obviously from the universities, and to see what they have to offer on the table for us today.
Exactly, and just going back to what you mentioned. This is the first time you and casting again since World War II, back in the day when that first dropped, at a LAN event. So it's good to be back, I know the chemistry is wild between us, so this is going to be a brilliant cast. And then these two teams that are going to battle it out for, let's say, the bragging rights of that university that is Durban University of Technology. And I'm just looking at the players here from both sides. Fang, we have Kader Boy, Nova Croft, Golden Goddess, and from the other team, we have Alex Thunder, we have some Alex Thunder, now we just LOL it before this, and maybe we can find a diamond in the rough here.
Yeah, we sure can. Dallas, now that you mentioned Fang, name does ring a bell to me. I think he's been around in the scene for probably the last 2 to 3 years. Okay. I think he's dipped his toes, or should I rather say his fingers, in the tier 1 scene, the sub-Saharan African scene. So yeah, I think he should be putting out some big numbers. Nova, I think, also quite a popular clan in the South African scene. So yeah, Kraft specifically, I haven't really heard too much about him. So possibly another player that can obviously, perhaps be a diamond amongst the rough, like we mentioned, and make his way into the tier 1 scene as well. So it's going to be interesting.
It will be. The other question I have for you, since you've made the transition from playing Call of Duty on console now to mobile, how different is the scenes between each other is there, and how big is COD Mobile right now?
Yeah, Dallas, COD Mobile right now, it's absolutely massive, dude. I mean, in terms of local participation, it's died down. I'm talking about South Africa specifically. I remember ACGL 2v2s and 5v5s. We were hitting like 30, 40 teams Monday evenings. It was insane, dude. You start at 7 p.m., you end at 11 p.m. Just a gauntlet. Now it's the last year or so, it's moved more to the sub-Saharan African scene. So, your Nigerias, your Kenyas, Malawi's, Limpopo, whatever it might be, as opposed to just South Africa focused. So yeah, we've now also been introduced to Mobile Mayhem. It's an international organization. So yeah, that's absolutely massive. So we've been playing their tournaments now, or their first season now, the last 2 weeks or so. And yeah, hopefully that, like I mentioned earlier, will give us the one spot that we deserve and have been wanting to obviously participate in the Call of Duty World Champs this year.
For anyone from the South African sub-Saharan area, just to go that far and get into a tournament like that, we know how big the viewership number one is and how big the prize pool can be, and you just need that one team to make noise, and things will come our way, and hopefully even more teams can participate. But as you can see, we're gonna jump in to map number 1. And Tiano, every time I see this map, I just get the chills of classic Call of Duty.
Classic Call of Duty is, brother. Firing range, I think, was introduced in the Black Ops, original Black Ops game itself. Yes. But yeah, Dallas currently on board with Madiri Lee, also a tier 1 player. So it's quite interesting that these players are still in university. And yeah, we can see the Maddox as well. Dallas was introduced to the game, I think, 2 weeks ago, which is obviously a Black Ops 4 staple.
Yes.
Yeah, so very familiar with you, obviously, when we used to play the Black Ops 4 Call of Duty on console. So yeah.
Yeah, no, the Maddox absolutely beams, and I want to see how these players pull it out over here, and how completely cracked they are on their thumbs. Because I've seen the movement these guys do on their mobile, and I can't believe the mobile can actually keep up with all this movement. But look at this Maddox firing down, and the Creek 6 as well, another beautiful weapon coming into hand, and all these attachments, and you got the perks, and man, when I look at this game, it just feels like the perfect medium between all of the Call of Duties.
Yeah, definitely, Dallas. It's just a huge magical concoction, bro. All of the Call of Duties, the maps, the guns, all bundled into one mobile game, as you mentioned. And yeah, I mean, ranging from devices, you've obviously got players playing on their mobile devices. You know, those are obviously equipped to cater to the game. And then you've got a lot of players that have opted to play on iPads and tablets, obviously giving them, you know, more of an advantage over your mobile gamers as bigger screen. 120 frames per second. You can put more fingers on the screen as well. I've seen some guys play with 6, 7, 8 fingers sometimes. It gets a little bit chaotic, but it's possible. So yeah. But as we can see right now, I think Team Blue, if we can refer to them, I think Durban University of Technology 1 are just absolutely dominating this firing range of hardpoints, and they're basically walking away right now with the hardpoints.
Yeah, look at I think he pronounces it Mad Higher Lee. I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but look at, he's on an 8 streak, man, and then he's still going with his buys and finds another. That's 9 streak for him and going. I don't think he's going to be stopped anytime soon. And look at it's basically just one-way traffic at the moment, 81 to 4, and still going as he finds another, and he gets out of dodge somehow as he still is alive. He recharges that with the buys and not missing a single shot, finds another on a 12 streak. Man, this guy's going for a nuke in a competitive game.
Yeah, Daria, I think it's definitely possible. As you can see, he's 13 kills in total. Buys and equipped a fantastic submachine gun. Obviously got a 60 bullet mag capacity. And right now, Mandeli is just beaming every single yellow opponent in his sight. Doesn't manage to pick up that last player, but he's extremely weak. And yeah, his team is just accumulating all of those seconds in the hardpoint, Daria. Already 100 difference in the points. And DUT Team Yellow really have to somehow pick up their socks and hopefully, you know, put some more points on the scoreboard.
Indeed. So if there's one way to stop someone like this, considering your expertise in this area, what would your comms be to your team to shut down this guy?
Yeah, definitely. I think we should go back to the age-old term of composure that will essentially try and help the team to try to just stay cool, calm, and collective, and try and rake some things in. But I just see in terms of rotations, if we look at the minimap bottom left-hand corner, the yellow team is just spawning out. And I mean, you know, Dallas, that already puts your morale down. So not entirely sure who the IGL, the in-game leader, is for the yellow team, but he just needs to step up and obviously try and keep all these boys composed and maybe just focus on rotations. You know, hopefully bring up the smoke grenades, try and get some cuts off so the players can then essentially push into the hill. But I mean, we're on board now with Fang. He's got the Annihilator out. Funny enough, missing his first shot.
Damn.
It's a bit of shaky shots there.
Yeah, I thought as soon as he pulled that out, I had that feeling that he's going to find a whole bunch of kills, but that wasn't the case, as it is Kader Boy unfortunately falling. But again, a 12 streak still going for, is it Madeline or is it Fang on the 13?
Yeah, Fang on Fang on 13 kills, now currently 14. Mandeli obviously leading the pack there for Team DUT Blue with 25 kills. We can also see the kill to death ratio is absolutely insane. I mean, a 5 KD there for Mandeli. Yeah, the man is just beaming on all cylinders right now, and I think this definitely is a walkaway. Dallas Team Blue DUTs, potentially I think they should be ending this game off quite soon.
Well, Tiana, just looking at the way they're playing, I think you need to get back to practicing, and hopefully these guys don't play you, because at this stage they're looking on fire as they keep on building this lead. They always have someone in the hill, and this Purifier comes out just absolutely flaming at everyone, and it's just flawless Call of Duty with absolutely no answer from DUT second team.
Yeah, DUT second team definitely struggling. I mean, especially in the kills department. We've only got, it looks like his name's Kalon there on the far right-hand side with the only player over 10 kills in DUT yellow team. Otherwise, the rest of the guys are under 6. It looks like a Dallas, and I'm sure the kill to death ratio is extremely dismal. But unfortunately, they've just come up across a stacked DUT Team 1. I mean, these are all experienced players from what I can see by their in-game names. And unfortunately, your casual to competitive players, it's difficult to go up against players like this Dallas, as you can only imagine.
Yeah, let's talk about the skill with COD Mobile, right? How big would you say is the skill gap on COD Mobile, specifically in Sub-Saharan Africa?
Skill gap is massive, Dario. You definitely got your tier 1 to tier 2 to tier 3, across that whole spectrum. And the tier 1 guys are miles ahead of the tier 2, even tier 3. I mean, it gets quite chaotic, as you can see right now. I mean, sorry, Dallas, what would you classify this as? 200 club? 5 club?
5, just 5. Well, absolutely annihilation, actually, is what that was. And you can see it was just DUT Blue, or their first team, I can basically say, just came out absolutely firing. And look at that, 34-8 with 12 assists. And it's across the board from their team. It's just all-out annihilation.
Yeah, it is. Obviously, Mandirali, as you mentioned, definitely the primary entry slayer to the team. And I mean, the other players on his team, the guys that got over minutes, OBJ time, obviously doing what they needed the team that required them to do, Dallas. But GG's to the obviously DUT Blue team, fantastic performance all round. And unfortunately, DUT yellow team, usually they say if you're not perhaps such a strong hardpoint team or respawn team, those teams that are struggle with that can hopefully bring it around in the search and destroy. At least Dallas COD timing a little bit more slow paced. So let's see, hopefully they can bring it around in the search and destroy.
Yeah, so if you listening DUT second team or yellow team, as we'll call them, then this is where your IGL basically takes reign and needs to swap that that outcome around. You're gonna have to play it slow, play it strategically, and as you mentioned, if you're not such a good respawn team, you can, as they would say, Neslo it, get that search and destroy in, and turn that around, and hopefully get that third game mode as well. And then you never know what's going to happen after that. But I'm just looking for a complete turnaround. Yes, they got outslayed. Now they just need to outthink the first team or the blue team. Just try and get this going. But just before we go any further, just a big shout out to Carry First, that's making all of this possible, as the main man's behind all the action at the moment. But the DUT, man, their first team just looks absolutely crazy. And Tiano, I'm coming back to you. What does the yellow team have to do to turn this around?
Yeah, definitely the yellow team has to take a step back. Obviously, just the in-game leader in their team must just speak to his players and say, guys, let's forget about map 1. Obviously, it didn't go according to plan, and let's put it in the back of our minds, and let's focus on the next 2 maps, that being Search and Destroy and on Summit, also one of I think a Black Ops fan favorites, Dallas. So
Yes.
interesting map. I know usually a lot of players like to use your SMGs, to get into those passages and those tight knit spots. But then again, your snipers can also outshine on this map if they know their sniping positions. As you can see now, on board with Mandirali, he does have the DRQ 33 in hand, and Fang obviously picking up a kill on Vuma, and Ted with a nice trade there on Caterboy. And it looks like the blue team once again are in favor here in Teammates Alive.
And the last time I saw S&D played on this map was with I think it was the Nigerian university tournament, and it was just like it wasn't like it was a search and destroy. It was just so jam-packed action all the time, everyone just pushing each other. And I don't know if that will be the case here, as we left in a 2v1 situation, and it's is it Fana? I can't see the name really, and he's the only one left for the team in yellow, as he pulls out that axe just to run a bit quicker, and he's trying to get a flank going here and hopefully catch some plays from behind, but that's not the case. He gets taken out from behind, and that is the first round for Team Blue.
Yeah, Team Blue obviously picking up the first round in the search and destroy. I think there's first to 7 essentially. And
Yes.
unfortunately, Vuma or Vanna, who was last left alive there, Daria, I mean, out Dallas, you could see that I don't think he was aware where the bomb was, firstly, and did a little bit there with a suicide nade on himself. But yeah, as you can see, pushes top, unfortunately does not get the getaway. Fang over there, Dallas on the other hand, gets himself a suicide kill. But yeah, once again, Kalon, Kalof, the last man alive for Team Yellow, put some shots on the players on their top stim. Not sure that's allowed, but he still manages to use it, gets a massive pick on Mandirli, and then unfortunately gets picked up by Nova.
Well, again, look how quick that round did go past, right? It was just, what, 4 kills down within seconds, and then only one guy left to fight it out. Can they bounce back is the question, and the one thing in the search and destroy that I've picked up is there isn't a round change until midway through.
Yes, well noticed there, Dallas. Good observation. So it's Call of Duty Mobile. It's the first 5 rounds. It stays the same, and then it obviously then switches over. So, you know, essentially your defending team should clean up all 5 rounds, as it's a lot easier to defend than attack on specific maps. But yeah, I would have liked it the old traditional way, you know, obviously the flip around, attack one round, the next round defend. But yeah, for some reason, Call of Duty Mobile has just left it as the first 5 attack, thereafter you will defend. But once again, the blue team crisp in their, you know, obviously their defending rounds, Dallas, and they're actually pushing up. They're quite aggressive instead of just sitting back, obviously waiting for the yellow team to advance.
Yeah, I just saw this Silent Thunder on the team, or Underdog, Silent Underdog on the blue team, running one of the weapons that I actually liked back in the day was the Cordite. This thing has 60 bullets and beams like no other. As the Fana just runs past, and like a blink of an eye, it's another round for Team Blue. Tiano, my question to you is, coming to search and destroy, we usually have a meta of 2 ARs, 3 subs, or 1 sniper out and 3 subs. What is the meta currently for COD Mobile in search and destroy aspect?
Yeah, search and destroy specifically, Dallas. Obviously, you'll always have your sniper rifle player. Some tournament organizers, when they host tournaments, they usually keep it to 1. Some allow you to have 2 or 3, which gets a little bit, in a sense, not really pleasing to watch and to participate against. But so always your snipers, 1 obviously out of a team of 5, and then just map specific. You'll have maybe 2 assault rifle players and then 2 submachine gun players. But with Call of Duty Mobile, Dallas, you usually have a gun that sometimes spans across seasons. That's just an absolute dominant in the meta. Okay. That's been the CBR4. I think it's been the meta for probably the last three seasons. And then also your Krieg 6 is quite dominant in terms of an assault rifle. CBR then being a submachine gun. So the split obviously differs between teams, but you know your traditional 2 SMGs, 2 ARs, and then your sniper rifle player.
Okay. And is there, like all the CODs we know, there's always that one OP weapon, overpowered weapon in the game? Is there any of that, or is it very balanced out?
Yeah, this current season, Dallas, it's quite balanced out. They've made a lot of buffs to guns that obviously weren't utilized in the past. A lot of nerfs to the OP guns, I would say. But yeah, your top two go-to guns is definitely your CBR, your submachine gun, like I mentioned, and then obviously your Krieg 6 being the assault rifle. So those I would say, you know, differentiate themselves between the other tons of selections that players can obviously choose from in this game regarding weapon choice.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you've been listening and been watching, but it's Team Blue that's 1 round away from taking the search and destroy already, and it looks like that way with 2 nades coming in, taking care of Team Yellow. At least Callan tries to get them back in this game, but I don't think that's the case. That it's Funner left to do it all with his ICR and a beautiful camo on that as well. But Bomber's down, and he's got to kill 4 players, but the sniper comes in clutch, and that's probably a no-scope over there. But again, a clean sweep in search and destroy.
Yeah, clean sweep it is, Dallas. There we go, 7-0. see, I think some of the players on Team Yellow were open up donut factory shops there, like we.
We used to say back in the day, and then we had if someone drops a donut, they get I can't even remember what they call it, burritos. Back in the day, we call it, if someone gets a 0, they get a burrito. But you can see just with the scorecard pulled up there, Vuma unfortunately couldn't find a kill. So for Rocks and Fana just unfortunately couldn't buy a kill, and was all left to Callan and his teammate over there. But again, man, Tiano, this the DUT team, or the blue team, their first team we could call them, is just completely on fire.
No, they are. You can see the players over there, Dallas, on the scorecard. A lot of the players have the legendary ranked icons, as opposed to DUT Team Yellow. I don't even think I saw one player in legendary rank. So, just in terms of experience, I mean, you can't even compare it. And we can see that obviously with the scores and the way they obviously play the maps. So yeah, DUT Yellow. Props to obviously your first team. You guys are still trying to put up a fight, but yeah, the blue team is just steamrolling this event. And I think we're going to go into control now, which is also an interesting game mode, Dallas, as obviously I'm sure you can explain to the viewers. It's a bit of respawn plus a bit of search and destroy in terms of being tactical.
Yeah, so it's not just outright gunning. Brain has to be used. So you have lives, so you can't just throw them away. You have to capture either A or B, and if you capture A, you get more time added. You capture B, you get more time added. Capture both, you win the round, or you win the round by killing out the opponents. That might be the case here, as we're going to see on a beautiful... Oh, what a map, man. I actually forgot the map's name, Tiano?
Crash, buddy.
Crash, bro. Yeah, dude. My play right up here, just following Madeline, running through mid, getting onto that plane on that middle area, jumping on those wings, and then trying to get into the opponent's base. But you can see Team Blue being so aggressive yet again. But Rocks actually has something to say about that as he gets a kill there. And this time around, it looks like, again, the first few kills going to the side of Blue. And again, it's showing like it's going to be that way again.
Yeah, it sure does, Dallas. As we can see, the kill feed is just raining blue down on Team Yellow. And yeah, Vanna obviously just sitting at top building here in the spawn, trying to get some shots on, it looks like Silent Underdog, but unfortunately just getting a few hit markers there. And we can see Team Blue's just absolute dominant map control, Dallas. They've actually pushed Team Yellow all the way into their spawn, and they're just spawned at this, right?
Exactly. Look at your minimap, ladies and gentlemen. Look at Team Blue. Look at their positioning and how they can keep Team Yellow back in their spawn. There's no one over rotating or over pushing. They're just pushing each other, knowing where the spawns are, making sure they keep them there. And Team Yellow just can't get out. 27 lives, only 3 lives has fallen for Team Blue, with Team Yellow only have 12 left. And the time is counting down as well. I think the time's going to stop this one, as round 1 does go to DUT first team, or Team Blue, whatever you want to call them. The better team, basically, is what I would call them.
Yeah, definitely the better team out of the 2 university teams in Durban University of Technology. And time stopped right now, Dallas. You can see actually points B or A was being held contested, but unfortunately, once, like you mentioned, the time has run out in favor of Team Blue. And I think now the roles get reversed now, as we see Team Yellow now that has to advance.
Yeah, they have to defend, and we'll see if Team Blue can get onto the site and capture that hill. But again, what would have been interesting is to see what UCT could have done against these teams, right? But again, a top university from Cape Town. And they probably would have given us a very, very good show. This is more internally between the 2 DUT teams, where I think with UCT or UCT, we would have seen maybe a bit back and forth. We would have seen maybe some words, some body shots, but nothing really happening over here.
Yeah, good old sportsmanship with the body shots between the two universities. Dallas, and I can confidently say there's a fantastic Cape Town players, which I'm sure a lot of them do attend the University of Cape Town, but pulled out last minute. So, like you mentioned, we basically have an eternal scrimmage between the two Durban University of Technology teams. And once again, we can just see Team Yellow. The lives are just counting down. Currently sitting on 11. Madrid with a 3-piece. Absolutely phenomenal. Definitely the MVP player right now, Dallas, of this tournament. And he's just having fun. He's just having an absolute ball right now.
Not missing a single shot, man. Look at him go as he takes out the whole team at the back there. And as I say that, the points are captured. And Tiano, this is going to be a 30-minute or less than 30-minute series, as it is just this Team Blue is outplaying, outsmarting, outkilling, and just out-COD mobiling Team Yellow.
Sure is. I'm trying to think of, it's reminiscing to me, Dallas, of that time when Xtaz went to COD Champs in Black Ops 2.
Yeah. When dark times, we don't talk about them.
No, we don't. God, it's probably my first and last time I'll mention it this year, but it's an absolute whitewash. But you know what, Dallas, as long as the yellow team here, I can only assume that they're having a good time. With this, they're getting a lot of experience, going up against these tier 1 players. Hopefully they'll implement that into the next time they go out in a tournament, give it another run or a scrim, and they can hopefully learn from that, essentially, and go back to the drawing board and maybe equip themselves better for the next tournament that's to come.
Exactly. If you don't play the best that there is, you're never going to get it or improve or get on that same level. But just talking about level, the level between these two are far apart at the moment. As man, Middle is just she knows where everyone is and just absolutely annihilating everyone.
Yeah, he sure is. You can see his absolute map control, and with only 1 second left, Dallas, I think possibly that's all she wrote, my friend. And GG's to Durban University Blue Team, Team 1.
Yeah, man, outclassed. And I've never seen such a one-sided game in my life before. But for the Team Blue, you have to put in the time to be that good. And you've mentioned, you see that some of these guys are legendary rank, and so they've put in the time, Tiano.
No, they sure have, and once again, kudos to them. You can see that the recipe to success is obviously within each of the players there in Team 1, and fantastic Call of Duty mobile performance. I mean, they held map control, the slaying was phenomenal, the objective work was phenomenal. I'm sure the in-game lead, I'm not entirely sure which player that is, but he definitely was calling the shots, and everyone just came together as a collective, and dominated the playing field and secured themselves the victory.
They have indeed, and for Team Yellow, it's back to the drawing board or back to a roster change. Maybe you never know what's going to happen down the line. Maybe they find another diamond in the rough and they can get him on board and get back in scrimmages and try and crawl their way back and maybe one day beat this blue team. You never know what the case is, but this was going to be a best of 5. We saw 3 maps go by in a record time. We would have wanted to see more maps being played, but that's not the case, as DUT's first team is just completely out dominating the other. But that is it for our coverage today. We would have had more games to play, I think 3 games today, but unfortunately, that's not going to happen as UCT has pulled out at the last second. But before we go, firstly, again, to Carry First for powering this cast, powering this tournament, and making it possible for all these teams to take part in all these universities. So thanks to them. Thanks for ACGL for having myself and Tiano. And Tiano, always a pleasure casting with you, brother.
Always a pleasure, Dalret. Thank you so much once again for obviously co-casting with me, and it was good to have a crack at it once again, and we'll see you the next time again.
Yeah, we'll see you definitely next time again. Well, hopefully we'll see you on using those thumbs again in some tournaments, if not on the casting desk. But from myself and Tiano, thank you very much, and have a beautiful Saturday.